Hey everyone, welcome. We are live with the Starcraft 2 AI Arena 2025 tournament. I say 2025 because I just worked out we didn't actually have one in 2024, but thanks to Probots for keeping the scene going in our absence. With me, we have Ketroc, our returning champion. Welcome. And
Hey guys.
Laughing
Oh yeah, I
Games.
am returning champion, even though it's
Yeah.
2 years ago. I forgot about that.
Yes, and Laughing Games joins us for the first time on the Starcraft 2 AI tournament. Welcome.
Oh,
And your
thank you so
cat
much.
has joined us as well.
Yes, yeah, the cat's here. No, I can't pick her up. She's wise to that one. We were doing a chat before we came in here, and I picked up the cat, and she was very, very annoyed by it. But she's now very annoyed with me. But oh well. It's always good to have cats on stream or other animals. So yeah. Anyway, I hope you two are both excited about the tournament. Which bots are you most excited to see?
Oh,
For me, it's go ahead, Nathan.
um, for me, I'd say it's probably NegativeZero. At the same time, I'm also very excited to see your bot playing again, Ketroc, because I know both of those bots have got some updates, and it's been a while since they've got some updates.
Yeah, well, my update was mostly just to get it working again because it was busted for a long time. But yeah, we'll see if I get some time. I do have this grand plan that I've been trying to implement for a long time, and if I get some time, maybe I can get it going for this tournament.
Does it involve
But yeah,
cyclones?
it's great to see NegativeZero back. I missed him when he left the scene.
Ah,
He was
yeah.
he was by far the most challenging Protoss bot to try to get your bot to beat.
Oh, definitely. It's so good to see NegativeZero back as well. Let's take a look at what we've got coming today. First up, we have DominionDog against SharpenedEdge, two of our very oldest bots on the ladder. Then next up, we'll have NegativeZero versus a bot called OneTest, which is another new bot which we've got. And then third up, BenBotBC versus Ketroc, your old nemesis. How are you feeling about that one?
Nemesis, no, that's my Java brother right there, my
Yeah,
Terran
yeah.
Java brother. Yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, our bots have always been about the same power level, but for some reason, head to head, my bot has always crushed BenBot. I don't think that's so much the case anymore. He beats most of my strategies, so this one's gonna be more up in the air.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll look forward to that.
We're going to have Zozo versus Sharkbot. MicroMachine, our grand old champion, versus Thheo, another new bot. Caninana against ThomTest, one I'm very excited to see actually. Tom has been very active in the scene. Oh god, I'm going to have to turn this off, aren't I? Cat is just just trying to bang at the side of me. Anyway, Caninana, another one that is always comes. Xena versus 12 Pool. And last up, we're going to have Eris, the god of StarCraft 2 AI, versus Terrain, another new bot.
Another bot that's done a spin on the word Terran.
Yeah,
We had a veteran back in the day as well.
the Terran, yes.
I'm trying to figure out what the extra H is in Thheo, if that stands for something, or if that's just a typo by Crip.
No, it's definitely not a typo.
Is that spelled? Okay, I wonder what it means then.
Oh god. Sorry. Anyway, let's get into our games. First up, we're going to have SharpenedEdge versus DominionDog. All right, I will share my screen because I think we were testing this earlier, and hopefully you guys should be able to see that. If that's good.
Yeah, I can see that just fine.
Awesome.
Yep.
Okay, we are go. So I'll let you cast.
All right, so spawning in the left-hand side, we have the red Terran DominionDog, who's generic begin scout, apparently. And in the right-hand side, we have the blue Protoss SharpenedEdge. Quite possibly, I think, the oldest bot we have in this tournament. Maybe older than MicroMachine. I think he dates back to the old days.
Yeah,
I think there's some
honestly,
tournaments in like Finland that had a really good prize pool that made a lot of bot authors exist, and that might have been, I think that's where Tier started. Oh, Tier would be another one, I guess. And
yeah.
SharpenedEdge.
So DominionDog isn't currently active on the newer season of the preseason, is it?
I don't think so. It's only been out for a couple days. I know Fidelina kind of comes and goes with his passion to work on bots. He like disappeared for a year, then all of a sudden he came back hard and started really pushing updates. So,
as is the case with many bot authors, I was just pulling up their pages anyway to see when they were last updated. So, both of these bots, it's been since December since they've been updated. So, I don't think anyone's going to have like a killer strategy program to take out the other one. So I think it should be quite an even match here.
In terms of functionality, I don't think SharpenedEdge has been updated for a couple of years. He might like update like library versions and stuff just to keep the bot current, but if he's more, if he's working on something, he's probably working on the Sharpie framework. He's more helping the other bot authors than working on his own bot nowadays.
Yeah, and that framework, a lot of bots are built off that.
Yeah, if you want to get a really complex bot really fast, I think that's probably the best one to use. But there's some really good options for Python authors. The base framework is probably the best of the best of all the base frameworks because it has so much documentation and sample bots. So then there's now these Eris framework by Rasper, which is a really nice set of tools. And then the Sharpie framework as well. So I'm jealous.
Yeah,
there's a Java author.
Yeah, they really are some great frameworks from what I've seen and some of the bots that have been created off of them. Okay, so as far as this game goes, we don't have an expansion for SharpenedEdge. We have a Stargate on the way. SharpenedEdge is one of the bots that Tempest rushes, from what I recall. So we may be seeing that.
Yeah, I've definitely lost to his Tempest play before. We do see a pretty fast expand out of DominionDog. Forward bunker with the factory in front of the bunker. I actually kind of like that against bots. They'll probably end up putting a lot of damage into the factory when they try to break that front line instead of into the bunker. So,
yeah, that can definitely mess with pathing and stuff a little bit, particularly that tech lab poking out. So we'll see if that's a factor or not. In some of these bot games, I've realized when it comes to defending something like a Tempest Rush, like the outcome can completely depend on the spawn of the map. Whether a bot's in the left or the right side, it's quite a big deal with bots, just from simple things like the add-ons, which direction they poke out.
Yeah, and coding against Tempests are really tough because they can shoot further than you can see. So
yeah,
like, they'll shoot you and then they disappear. And then depending on how your code is, you may not think the Tempest even exists there anymore. And then they shoot again and they come back, and then you can create, those wiggles you see in your units. Sometimes that's the cause of being shot from the fog of war.
Yeah. It's not one of those things that I envy you guys having to program against, that's for sure. And there we go. First Tempest on the way for SharpenedEdge. Corona boosting that out, so DominionDog is going to be facing the Tempest Rush. It already has a bunker up turret at the front, which should be very nice. And it's starting to pump bio, so in theory, everything looks all right for DominionDog, but as you said, the actual programming of unit movements against the Tempest could see things get a little bit tricky here.
Yeah, and like the bio right now is prioritizing Marauders and Concussive Shell, so trying to get unupgraded Marines underneath a Tempest that's doing microdwell is going to be very difficult, especially if terrain starts getting in the way.
Yeah, DominionDog, I believe it does have a scouting reaction to these Tempests, so we'll probably see a chat tag once that Tempest first rolls up. But I have cast games in, I think actually between these two, which it just didn't make Vikings, despite sort of saying it had that plan. So there's the chat tag. Early Protoss Tempest defends, so the bot authors have put in some work against this specific scenario. The Stalkers are immediately taken out as that Tempest has between the high and the low ground, messing with DominionDog.
The Marines are definitely confused on where they should be.
Yeah, I do like the fact that the Marauders and Siege Tank are just crossing the map, though. They don't shoot up, so they have better opportunity elsewhere. The Marines are getting damage done to the Tempest, which is having a hard time kiting. However, another Tempest shows up with a Zealot coming forward as well. DominionDog is producing a Cyclone and a Viking, which is good to see, as it fans out against that Zealot, though. But so far, no dead Tempest, 2 Marauders crossing the map.
Yeah, and the Marine count's almost gone. He didn't quite finish out that first Tempest despite getting it way out in the open. Cyclone might be able to help with a nice lock-on. These are the Cyclones from the previous patch, so they are like 7 lock-on range and much lower hit points than the current patch's one.
Yeah, and then they notably don't need a tech lab to be produced either.
Yeah, you build them a lot faster, they're cheaper, you could be reactored. There's a lot of advantages to these, but comparing one Cyclone to one Cyclone is definitely weaker than the current patch.
How are those Marauders got cleaned up on the other side of the map, it looks like, as SharpenedEdge took a natural base as well, so there's a bit of potential to macro out of this. DominionDog has produced a single Viking that, I mean, with Marine support, it may be able to actually catch the Tempest. The one in the upper left is still shooting that barracks, I believe, as well. But that other Tempest gets away once again, so these things are escape artists.
Yeah, 2 more Tempests arriving, but he is building 2 Vikings at a time. Like you said, with the Marines soaking up the shots, those Vikings are going to do very well. The problem here is the engagement angle. Like this map, I've had a lot of headaches on this map myself as an SC2 player. The fact that you can come, like, attack from behind like this is, from the air, is very difficult. So the Vikings are actually fighting on their own here.
Yeah, one of the Tempests does actually go down. The other one is 1 shot away from dying. And look at that. Another Tempest does go down, as the Bio has a good catch. DominionDog seems to have done quite a good job defending this.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he was like losing like 20 Marines for every Tempest, but in the meantime, he's gotten up to 4 bases, and now he's got the army to really smash these Tempests if they're going to come in one at a time. Viking count is up to 4 with 2 more on the way, and a couple of Cyclones. Yeah, this is looking really nice for DominionDog.
Yeah, SharpenedEdge never really hit that snowball point where it was killing units as fast as they were coming out. DominionDog also getting up combat shield. Gives the Marines a little bit of extra HP. Yeah, really solid defense for DominionDog against this. SharpenedEdge is macroing behind this, getting out charge, producing more Tempest, and a 3rd Nexus is on the way. So having its own economy going, but the Protoss bot is definitely behind here.
Yeah, but like you said, the game not over. Like, he didn't stay on that one base forever, so Natural is fully saturated now with a 3rd base for the Protoss. DominionDog does struggle when it comes to like the late game. He's really good at like producing units. He's got really good early game strategies, but then when it comes to like, you know, getting 3/3 upgrades and being able to use late game spellcasters, sometimes he struggles a bit.
Yeah, it's definitely relied more so on having overwhelming economy and amount of units, not necessarily the quality. Always.
Of course, as I was like in the middle of that thought, I just suddenly remembered that DominionDog beat me in the late game and knocked me out of the last Pro Boss tournament, so his late game is actually probably not that bad anymore. I might be speaking on outdated info there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely can take down late game bots, that's for sure. We've got more orbital commands morphing for DominionDog, so it's going to have that extra mule money. If we look at its income, it's cruising over 3,500 minerals a minute, which is just a massive income compared to SharpenedEdge. And when you take into account that SharpenedEdge is only building Tempest and the odd charge lot here, it is in a world of trouble. DominionDog is moving out across the map now.
Yeah, half the army supply right now for SharpenedEdge, so. Vikings charging in. Stalker's trying to assist to keep those Tempests alive, and those Tempests need to live if there's any hope of surviving here.
Yeah, I don't think there is, though. As the Vikings close in on those Tempest, DominionDog just does so much stuff. Probes are being pulled into the fight for SharpenedEdge, but it's a bit of a futile effort as the Red Terran bot seems to handle that with ease once it made the initial defense. It wasn't really in a losing position, and SharpenedEdge seems pretty toast right now.
Yeah, well done. Yeah, I think we have it there with the fast forward. We know what that means.
Yeah.
So unless there's a crash, this game.
Unless there's a crash, which definitely is a factor in some of these bot games, but not. I don't really have any memories of DominionDog dropping the ball. So well done, DominionDog.
Yeah, great
GG.
work for DominionDog there. That's the first win in our tournament. But yeah, I did like the early Tempests from SharpenedEdge. I don't think he ever got them connected though. If you get like a bunch of Tempests in a huge ball, then you can just basically take out anything that comes, like you were saying. But it just never got to that point, unfortunately. But
Yeah, I mean, I actually thought it was looking pretty good there for SharpenedEdge. Just the fact that he was able to constantly be picking off Marines, he didn't seem to lose a single Tempest for a very long time. But yeah, I guess like he never really got on top of the SCV line, so just the economy of two base didn't really matter. You can lose as many Marines as you want, as long as you're still pumping out more Marines and teching up to Vikings and Cyclones. It's only a matter of time.
yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, that terrain was causing him fits, especially when that Tempest was right between the high ground and low ground of the main base. Then Range are like running around to the ramp back and forth.
Yeah, no, that's crazy. All right, next up we have the return of NegativeZero. I'm so excited for this next one. I hope you guys are too.
Oh, absolutely. NegativeZero has just come back into the scene absolutely stomping, showing us that it was an incredible bot before it left the scene. And I do believe the bot author has been making some updates to it.
Yeah,
So
it's been
fixing any potential holes, and we'll see whether one test can cause what I think is safe to say would probably be an upset.
Yes, pretty big upset at that, but we'll. All right, I think we are good to go.
Yeah, so spawning in the top left, we have NegativeZero, as we spoke of, the red Protoss. And in the bottom right, I believe in his very first tournament, we have the blue Protoss 1 test. So this will be great. NegativeZero's claim to fame is Hearthstone actually played NegativeZero with all three races. And he actually lost with his main race of Protoss against NegativeZero. So
Really?
Yeah.
I definitely have lost a game to NegativeZero as well. Not that I'm anywhere near the caliber player of Hearthstone, but it definitely can catch you by surprise, NegativeZero. Okay, so we have got one test, which is programmed in Python, I believe, last updated February 21st, 2025. And it's biography on AI Arena, test variant of one playing Protoss created using the Sharpie framework. So seeing the Sharpie framework programmed by 7. Well, the bot programmed by 7.
Oh, there you go. So SharpenedEdge lost his game, but he could take a little bit of credit if one test is able to pull this one off, I guess. Being the Sharpie framework author.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so one test getting a nice little look around the base. Not much going on, trying to take an early expand of himself. Mind me, the author of NegativeZero usually says in this matchup the first person to expand is the one who loses. So
Okay. That definitely can hold true in human PvPs as well. So
yeah. See if that's the case in this here. But yeah, one gate against 2, so definitely a much greedier build out of one test.
Mm-hmm. And
NegativeZero is actually chasing with 2 probes, so that's a little bit of a hit to his own economy.
It is, yeah. I'm not sure how that happened, but they decide to take the fight and then start running all over the place. But that is interesting how it did pull 2 probes. One of them heads back into the main as it gets chased by the Zealot, will go down. So that's a nice pickoff for one test. The main concern for the blue Protoss bot that expanded, though, is that it will have to probably deal with NegativeZero's adepts, which I believe it's made 2 of so far.
Yeah, I can already see the shades on the mini map, so it's coming and it's coming hard right now.
Those adepts from NegativeZero are absolute killers. It's just got such relentless adept micro, so we'll see if one test goes for a wall or anything to prevent a shade getting in. It does start to move out with a Stalker and a Zealot to sort of push those adepts back, force the shade, but it looks like they will make it into the main base. That is not good for the expanding blue Protoss. A Stalker is in position to start shooting away on these, but the adepts have already tossed out more shades to bounce towards the natural, and the damage has begun, and it may be a while before it ends. Looks like there's only one left inside the main base.
Yeah, it was very good damage. I think he killed maybe at least 5 probes there. But OneTest got a little bit lucky as well there. The fact that his stalkers were so far out positioned in the front, and then he spawned stalkers in the back, it actually trapped one of the adepts, and it picked off quickly. But more adepts have already arrived, and oh man, yeah, this damage is getting out of control at this point.
Yeah, this is the thing with NegativeZero. It just spams. It spams out units, to put it bluntly, and it has a very good success rate with finding damage with them. Now, OneTest is not dead by any means, though. It does have that second Nexus up, so it is able to actually maintain a small worker lead, and it will be able to outproduce NegativeZero as far as workers are concerned. Army supply, though, NegativeZero does have a slight lead in units. I'm wondering if it's made immortals. Yeah, there's an immortal rolling on up.
Yeah, but right before that, I was looking good on this side of the map. Like, there's more stalkers over here than OneTest, but now with an immortal and another stalker arriving, yeah, the immortal's so good against stalkers. Immortal actually focusing the sentry though, which is interesting. The only unit that doesn't take bonus damage.
Yeah, OneTest is doing a great job microing back the injured units. However, it's at that point where all the units are pretty much one shot away now for OneTest. The second immortal rolls up for NegativeZero, and the blue Protoss bot is in a world of trouble as it loses all of its units pretty much. I think it's got one stalker out right now, and that stalker is a little bit aggressive as it walks out to its death. It would have been much better defending on that shield battery. Now probes are being pulled, but the author of NegativeZero may have been right. The bot to expand first loses, it seems.
Yeah, I think just losing too many probes in the early attack. If he didn't lose all of them, maybe he gets another gateway down and can produce enough units, but yeah. The only advantage to expand that quickly is the economy. And then when you lose that economy advantage from lost workers, you are pretty much dead, especially against a bot as strong as NegativeZero.
Yeah, NegativeZero's army control is pretty phenomenal, so it's very difficult to get one up on it as far as army positioning and just engagement. So well done by NegativeZero, showing us that it's as good as we think it is. OneTest, like, it did a pretty good job responding to everything for the most part, but once the immortal came out, it was just kind of game over.
Yeah, I mean, most bots' first tournament performance is rough, we'll say. So OneTest actually looked pretty solid there. Like, there's nothing like overwhelmingly bad about that bot. Like, it just kind of lost in the build order and lost to Superior Micro.
Yeah, no major holes or anything like that. It would be interesting. I know some Protoss bots in the PvP matchup are programmed to, say, throw down a pylon to block adepts getting into the main base.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have been a big improvement for OneTest, but that's a very matchup specific change. And like, it did an okay job defending regardless. Like, it chased down the adepts. It just took a bit. And yeah.
You know what bots could do really well, as well, since they have infinite micro, is you can use your own shades to block their shades going through the wall. And that's something that bots could do like perpetually.
That is something that bots are very good at.
Yeah. And you know, for a new bot like OneTest as well, it's very difficult to counter absolutely everything that comes at you, because we have so many different tactics on the ladder now with so many different bots that, you know, it's like you've just got to think of everything, and there's not enough hours in the day to program reactions for that. So, you know.
No, there isn't. Yeah. And so who do we have coming up next?
Next, it's a very exciting one, Ketroc. We've got your bot playing up against
Ketroc and
BenBotBC.
BenBotBC.
Yes.
Little TVT action.
Little TVT
All
action.
right.
This is going to be a fun one. I think they were quite close on the ranking. I think you were, what was it? BenBot was 5th, and you were sort of like 8th or 9th this year. So, yeah. So it's going to be a fun match. It's one we've seen a lot before, but it's evolved over time, I think. Definitely.
Yes, for sure. BenBot's he never does like huge changes in his bot, but his bot is always very slightly changing over time. So if you look at like a 2-month window, you never notice a difference, but if you look over a 2-year window, it's like, wow, it's completely different than 2 years ago. Even though it's very tiny, but very yeah. But the changes are coming all the time.
And even though he's called BenBotBC, there's not many battle cruisers now. Like, he started off very battle cruiser heavy, and then he's gone
Yeah.
up and down over time.
Yeah. I do like how he still makes PCs anyways, though, just because it's his name.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah,
yeah,
would
dude.
have to
Like
change
I
the
always have to
name.
make ravens, even if I'm doing like a cyclone build. There's gotta be ravens and all the turrets involved somehow.
Yeah. Cyclones, Ravens, auto turrets is more your fare. All right. Are you good to go? I will see if I can.
That's it.
I'm good to go.
Cool. 1 sec. All right, and we are going.
Okay.
Oops, forgot to load the stream. Okay, it's up in the top left. We have the blue Terran. It's me, and in the bottom right, the red Terran, BenBotBC. So yeah, this will be an interesting one. Historically, my bots has had the big advantage, but nowadays BenBot is actually a stronger bot, and he's also doing better against my bot on the ladder. So I think it's about 50-50, I would say.
Yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I know BenBot does pick builds in regards to matchup success. Is that something that your bot does as well, as far as how it picks the build it's going to use?
Yeah, it tries like a certain amount of games for every build, and then it starts using those stats to decide which builds to use next.
Okay, yeah.
So it tries to select basically the highest win rate build, as long as I didn't lose with it last game. If I lost with it last game, then they'll switch it up to something else. Little proxy barracks coming out of BenBotBC here. This is something my bot either completely crushes or loses the game completely against.
This is
It all depends if he gets that bunker up or not.
Well, that's a good insight to have. So we'll watch for that. This strategy from BenBot is so strong as far as the amount of resources it has to commit to it. There's the first bunker on the way up. Is that a bunker going up for your bot on top of the bunker?
It looks like it's trying to be on top of the bunker.
So it's not going to get placed down over. And SCVs are getting pulled off the line, so that's what you need to do. However, they do go after the Marine, so looks like that bunker may get up. However, the Marine does get surrounded and killed. It's a race against time now as that SCV tries to put the finishing touches on that bunker, and it's so close it does finish up. And your bot retreats from that bunker, which does make sense, because I was told this, or I read this in a comment, that bots can't easily tell whether a bunker is full or not, I believe. Is that the case?
Yeah, and my logic is very basic when it comes to like dealing with certain cheeses, because this is a very edge case, like getting a bunker in your natural. So I think I just have like a hard off switch of like try to defend unless the bunker finishes, in which case just give up. So
yeah,
my give up is based on the bunker finishing. Even if he has no units there, my bot just isn't smart enough when it comes to this edge case.
Yeah, it does have a siege tank on the way though, which I assume is going to be used to clean out that bunker. So it'll take a bit to clean that up, but presumably it'll get cleaned out. Meanwhile, BenBot does have command center going up on its side of the map, a single Hellion being produced. I know sometimes BenBot rallies a tank over to join up with the bunker, but it rarely makes it before it's cleaned up, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
And there actually isn't any tank on the way, so no need to worry about that.
So one of the more recent additions I did do with my bot was before I try to build the structure, I check the path to that location and see if the path is safe. So that is actually the reason why I'm not expanding right now. I think before my last update, my bot would have constantly been sending SCVs down, trying to build a command center in my natural and constantly dying to that bunker.
Well, that's a very good update.
Finding check, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very good general thing to program into your bot, and probably applies to a lot of cases. So well done on that. And then yeah, double armories going up. So your bot seems like it's just trying to play just without the expansion, as it fires up +1 armor, has a cyclone on the way.
Yeah, it does have the ability to build in-base command centers, but I'm guessing it just really wants to build it at the natural. Maybe Yeah, I'll have to look into the logic on that one, but we're going to be stuck on one base for a while, which is not good because BenBotBC on the other side of the map is about half saturated on his natural already, and Ketroc hasn't even begun.
Yeah,
And will
that
Ketroc
is
ever push out is the question, because this is just going to stay like this unless he gets on the offense.
that is the question so far. Your bot, it does have the tank, so I mean it's got the means to break out, but it's a completely different thing. Of the bot's going to do what it's programmed to do. So, what sort of conditions need to be met before your bot would push out, whether it to be an attack or to secure up the expansion?
Man, I don't even know. It could even be something like, let me establish 3 bases before I push out or something along those lines, which is going to be really bad. And if you look at the production tab, nothing's actually being produced.
Yeah.
Ketroc is supply blocked, so yeah, this bunker contained has totally crushed my bot.
Okay.
And that's, I guess, I haven't looked into it much, but I guess this is why, like, I instantly lose games against the bunker contained when it finishes. And it's funny how it all came down to a split second as well. If that SCV died a split second earlier and the bunker didn't complete, then he would have cleaned up and expanded.
Yeah, and this is the strength of this build from BenBot. Like, it's a fairly small commitment, but even a bot as good as yours, like, it's not an easy thing to program a response to. And the contain factor is just so strong because it's so difficult to program a response to like a bunker in your natural or something like that without just feeding SCVs into it, which your bot isn't doing. But yeah, a CC on the high ground or something would definitely be a way to solve this. So maybe that's the next step. I don't know.
It's definitely hit a branch of my code that doesn't exist. So
yeah,
there's like the logic on when to attack, and there's a logic on how to defend a bunker, and then if I don't defend the bunker, then the attack never happens, and then it's just like one of those cases that.
Yeah, I guess now it's just.
For.
I guess now it's just a matter of waiting till the external stimuli of BenBot potentially harasses or attacks with something to maybe break your bot out of this funk. If that will even happen or not, but there we go. BenBot's attacking. Look at that. 2 CCs immediately go up, so your bot awakes.
Still hasn't built a single unit though, or a supply depot.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe it's still in like, okay, at the beginning build order I have kind of hard coded just to to do it very precisely before it starts like generating its own build order from then on.
Yeah.
So the beginning build order probably relies on the command center for supply, and that's why I got stuck at 39 supply, something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, it's nice to see those command centers. If nothing else, they'll be very slowly building supply depots.
Yeah, it will eventually break that 39 supply cap, and this is something that happens in bot matches fairly frequently. A bot will get stuck, but then the other bot will eventually attack on in, even if it takes quite a while, and it'll break the other bot out of the funk. That supply depot going down will not help the supply situation though, but 2 CCs should be enough to break it out of that. As hey, at least your bot's gonna have very good upgrades with 2-2 about to finish. So
2-2 for a single tank.
Yep, that is just a strong tank with a lot of responsibility on it. One of those CCs will lift off. The tank tries to move down to the low ground, however, and BenBot doesn't have vision. The scan goes down.
So I think my bot, although it's not even shooting at the siege tanks.
Yeah,
I think it scans so that it can see the enemy siege tanks. Because right now I think those siege tanks are in range, but they're not shooting.
I think they are. Yeah. I guess not though. If BenBot's Marine didn't give vision, so they must just be out of range, like literally as close as it can get without being in range. I see your bot is realizing that natural is not a viable expansion as it floats towards a 3rd and a 4th base location. As a Viking on the way, upgrades are continuing to roll. It's a very, very difficult position for your bot, but hey, a Banshee shows up. That'll clean up those tanks.
That's weird. So my bot was definitely calculating the distance between those tanks, and that's why it was scanning. So, according to my bot, the calculation was that those bots are in range of each other.
It really seemed like it, but yeah, maybe there's some sort of something that interrupts that. I don't know whether it be like one of the tanks was on a plate or something, or who knows? I certainly don't.
Okay, well, BenBot got about a 9-minute head start, but it looks like Ketroc is completely snapped out of it now, and he does have 4 bases, so...
Yeah.
And BenBot's army supply, actually, it's 28. It's not huge.
No, it's BenBot, so it does tend to get leads with this bunker opening, but then it takes an incredibly long time to max out because it invests in things like planetaries. Building battle cruisers, of course, takes a long time. And then I don't think it generally attacks until it's at 200 supply, I want to say. So, like, your bot does have time, and it's being incredibly greedy with 4 command centers on the way, which is something that I love to see. Whereas BenBot is a little bit more methodical and takes 1 expansion at a time. So your bot is
it really wants to have a gas-heavy composition, and it's been stuck on 2 gas for so long that it doesn't know what to do with its minerals. So whenever it doesn't know what to do with its minerals, it's like, okay, let's just start building command centers, I guess.
No, I think that's a great approach. Like, it's in so many cases in these bot games, it's better to build an expansion than to not. Looks like that command center does get delayed. However, I imagine your bot will send out another SCV to resume that building. And I think I see one on the way over there. So,
this is actually really interesting. If my bot gets away with all these expansions, then he'll be in a great spot economically. And the only thing he had going for him in the early game was his upgrades, right? So big economy with 3/3 upgrades. Like, all of a sudden, this game is looking not so over anymore.
Yeah, it's amazing. And this is one of the things about BenBot. Like, it does get leads with this build, but then it takes so long to build up, and it's rather passive in regards to how it macros. Like, it's not super greedy. It's building planetaries at most of its bases, so it misses out on some of that mule money too. So it's not the quickest build up as far as Terran bots are concerned. And yeah, your bot may have a chance here as it reaches 68 workers. Still building many more. Vikings are on the way, which is going to be important against the battle cruisers of BenBot. Can we see how many BCs are out presently? Is it just 2?
There's 3 building at the moment, so...
Okay, so 3 out with
3 out, 3
many more on the way.
Yeah. So the Viking count is at 1. So that's not great. I think my bot needs to see one of these battle cruisers before it really starts committing to the Vikings.
Yeah, I mean, like, your bot still has a reasonable amount of time, though, because I believe BenBot waits till it's at 200 supply. And if it's building BCs, it's going to take forever to hit that supply count. We do have triple starport on the way for your bot as well. So that's going to allow lots of anti-air production as 3 Vikings are being made at a time. High-sec auto-tracking on the turrets. Even if BenBot does go for an attack at some point, it's not like your bot's going to immediately die, because it's not like BenBot's going to be programmed just to go for the main base or anything like that. Yeah, we could have quite a ways to go in this game, I think.
Yeah, and even though my bot hasn't spotted a single BC yet, so it doesn't know what it's up against, it does... Oh my gosh, never mind. Okay, here it comes.
That jump.
How many
Here we
Vikings
go.
are there?
Okay. Additional Viking production started. We'll see if BenBot retreats with these Vikings, but there's Yamato cannons going down, Marines coming into the main base. The Vikings get a lot of damage done on one of those battle cruisers, and I think that's the upgrades really shining through for your bot. As what do these Vikings have? They've got +2 attack, +2 armor. That defense went incredibly well so far as 2 of those battle cruisers die.
So here's a funny thing with my bots. So my bot's very... it really wants to defend its main base, but once the enemy unit leaves the main base, it doesn't care about it anymore. So just the fact that those BCs moved away from my high ground to my main base, my bot doesn't care that they're there.
And those BCs will just chill there until they have teleport. Then they'll teleport back to BenBot's main base. Most likely.
I think they actually attack for a second time, and then they teleport back when they get low.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is the way they coded it, at least way back in the day. That's how he did it. We've got a pretty big engagement going on in the middle there. Looks like BenBot got pushed away again with his battle cruisers.
Yeah, how many Vikings does BenBot have? It's building its own to support the BCs, and you are absolutely right about that second move-in. However, your bot built turrets, which is definitely helping to defend against this. So those BCs, they go back in, but they don't get too much done. BenBot is now going to have to wait for those to be repaired. We've got turrets being repaired by the SCVs at your at this expansion. Yamato Cannon does deal with that though. And did that Yamato Cannon one-shot the turret? Is this free? Like, I know there was a change to reduce the damage of Yamato Cannon. Is that in effect in this version, or?
So a turret is left with 10 hit points after Yamato.
Oh, okay.
So the fact that it was already under attack, like if 10 hit points are missing when the Yamato hits, which is obviously what happened, then it gets one shot.
Yeah. Okay.
As a human player, you have to repair quick too, because even if it's full health, it'll burn down in about 5 seconds after the initial Yamato hit.
Now we've got your bot with an almost unholy amount of Vikings, as it makes 8 at a time. I don't know how many it has, but it's got to be really getting up there. And that's definitely what it needs against this air-based composition. Vikings are engaging against the Vikings of BenBot. Battlecruisers tossing out Yamato cannons. However, it does seem that there is plenty of Vikings for your bot in order to hold the line on this for now. Cyclones on the ground as well. Prime Yamato cannon targets for the battlecruisers.
One thing I've noticed is that Vikings are not locking on to the BCs. It looks like they think they're locked on. Never mind, that one locked on. Not sure. Maybe my bot doesn't understand the new cooldowns of the lock on or something. I'll have to look into that one. But yeah, a lot of pressure here from BenBot, attacking in many different places.
Sorry, were you talking about the Vikings or the Cyclones?
Yeah, the Cyclones were like hanging out in lock-on range of the BCs, but the lock-on wasn't actually connecting. They're just sitting there, like thinking that they're locked down, but they weren't.
Yeah, that's definitely a bug I noticed. I have a video of that going up on my channel probably in like a couple weeks. So I imagine you might have fixed that by then, but we'll see. Cyclones can definitely be a tricky thing to program from what I've seen. We've got BenBot continuously trying to expand as it floats those CCs around, but your bot definitely has a base lead right now, and it seems to be getting the efficiency lead with just this mass Viking, destroying Vikings, destroying battle cruisers for BenBot. Like, could we see the unit count and then the resources lost count? That would be great to see. So 33 Vikings, resources lost. Your bot is absolutely crushing BenBot right now, as the pooling of the units is way better, whereas BenBot tends to sort of do these trickle fights, relying on getting the BCs to teleport home and repair to get efficiency, but it doesn't work when you're up against 33 Vikings.
Yeah, it's at the point now where they can actually one-shot battlecruisers.
Yeah, tanks pushing forward as well, starting to siege away on this planetary. BenBot can absolutely not afford to lose a base. In fact, it needs to be killing bases, but your bot seems to have kind of checkmated it. Mass Vikings beats fewer number of Vikings and battle cruisers, so.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen in the past where BenBot gets a lot of Vikings of his own, so then his BCs kind of tank while his Vikings clean up my Vikings.
Yeah,
I think he's just a little too far behind on the air war right now, and it's just every battle's going too poorly for BenBot.
Yeah, it does seem to be that way. Like, your Vikings are all grouped up, just annihilating the odd unit that walks forward. BenBot definitely would need to pool to a much higher supply to take the fight that it needs. Banshee's shooting away at the planetary despite the SCV repair. There's no turrets to support it, so the planetary falls. BenBot's rallying out Vikings, but all in all, it seems like your bot is making quite a comeback from that starting freeze that it had.
Yeah, I mean, probably wasn't intended, but that throwing down that 5 command centers was, turned out really well against the bot to gave me the time to survive, I guess.
Yeah, mass expansions is definitely the way to go against BenBot, as it does take so long to build up an attack that you can get away with such greed like that, and it definitely worked out. As BenBot, it's just still rallying units forward, losing them. A battle cruiser barely escapes before the Vikings volley it down. We've also got Banshees being produced by your bot, which I know is something that it tends to make use of quite often, and is now even engaging that turret to target that down, which is very cool programming, as Banshees attacking turrets is not a good dynamic for the Banshees usually.
Yeah, it usually waits till it thinks it has enough, but it's usually not smart enough when it comes to like SCVs repairing the turret, so they'll all just commit suicide against the turret that's being repaired. Same thing with like trying to focus down a cannon when the battery overcharge is active.
Yes.
It's like, I can take out a cannon with 4 Banshees. And it's like, yeah, normally you can, but not when it's being overcharged.
Okay, Vikings for BenBot, not shooting, staying out of range while a few more of them get picked off. But then he was waiting for the battlecruiser seemingly to go in, but battlecruiser barely escapes. There's still simply not enough Vikings for BenBot in order to make any stand against the mass Vikings of your bot. BenBot's falling down in supply, and there's really no light at the end of the tunnel, as it's more likely to lose another base than take another one. Your bot has expanded to the base that it killed. Yeah, there's really no way for BenBot to win this game at this point.
Yeah, he's trying to expand. He's like sending command centers over already taken bases, but oh, this is going to be a fast dead command center.
Yeah, that is one of the things that I do like about BenBot, how it will continuously float the command centers around. It looks a little goofy at times, but it does continuously try to re-expand just 1 CC at a time, but in this case it's just not happening.
Yeah, that'll probably be the next thing I work on though, is like looking at these cyclones. Every time I see them, I was like, what are they doing?
Yeah, I mean, I can send you like unlist the video or whatever that I cast of it. It's definitely quite a bug against Tempest as well, from what I've seen.
Like that one looks fine. It's locked on, staying out of PF range. I think it has the wrong value for the cooldown on the lock-on, is my guess.
Okay.
Because that value has changed so many times through all the patches that I think I just don't have it up to date. Anyways, something to look at, as this game is, I would say, slowly wrapping up at this point. The bank for BenBot is now gone, so his ability to stay at max supply is gone. And now it's just like Alamo for BenBot. How long can he hold on for before it's all over?
Yep, at this point, BenBot is pretty much hoping for a crash or for your bot to freeze again, but I don't think that's too likely, so it's not looking too good for BenBot.
Oh, maybe we'll get the, if this takes a long time, maybe we'll get like the Manor Mules out of Ketroc, where I started like spelling things on the map.
Oh yeah, it already did say
Yes, there it is,
yeah,
the center of the map. See the heart?
A little heart.
It changes too.
How do you go about programming something like that?
Well, that's the, you gotta take advantage of individual unit micro there. I don't know, just kind of like created a grid and then placing things in the grid.
Oh,
you got
okay,
any
cool.
ideas for like a 24-bit picture?
Okay, yeah, that's what I was
or 24
wondering.
pixel picture, I guess.
As far as the image and stuff goes, that's very cool. Banshees kill the turret, leaving the planetary undefended. Does BenBot have tanks caught in the main?
Oh, if he does, that would be sad. They might have been there all game.
I think it does, yeah. That is wildly...
Oh, that's rough. Yeah, because my bot's tanks have been almost uncontested for such a long time this game.
Oh, yeah. If there was a tank there since the start of the game or something, that absolutely could have been something pivotal.
Yeah, especially if that happened when he already had me contained, because that he might have been able to win before any of this ever even started.
Yeah, that would almost be worth like rewinding to get a glimpse at. I'm not sure if we'll do that or not, but that is something that I think has happened to BenBot in the past, tanks getting caught in the main, and it's probably that natural wall, I think, that caused it, as the tanks are just trying to siege up, but they can't get through, and...
Yeah, there's like 2 bunkers in the turret or something that has space to let small units through, but not...
Yeah, that other tank siege.
Oh no, it's that tank! Yeah, that tank is actually blocking them. If he unsieges that tank, then the ones in his main get out. So I don't think it's blocked it the whole game. That's probably something that recently happened.
I didn't know Starcraft 2 pathing. Well, BenBot places a tank there fairly early at its natural sometimes with the 2 bunkers, so could have been there a while.
Yeah, it's weird. Like a sieged up tank is actually like a structure. Like even Colossus can't walk over a sieged up tank.
I was gonna say, because like usually units will try and pad up to a unit that's blocking something, but yeah, the tank actually just makes, because like if it was like another unit or something, the tanks would actually pad into that unit. but since it's a tank, they just siege up right in the main base, which is interesting, if that's what you're saying. Anyway, GG.
Yeah,
Well
GG.
done.
Yeah.
We can actually go back and take a quick look at that because it's interesting to see when that tank actually got stuck. Hold on one sec.
Yeah, let's do that if we can. I think that would be great
Well,
to
like,
see.
you know when you try to send an SCV up the ramp, but the ramp is covered, and the SCV will just like run into a random corner instead?
Yeah.
I think that's what was
Mhm.
going on with the siege tanks there.
Oh, I do
They
have
probably
to.
wanted to go out to like some 5th base or something, and then they just go to the closest point,
Yeah.
which is like that corner of the main.
I do have to apologise. We missed the first minute or two of that game because, well, they got a corner of that game on the first minute or two because we forgot to swap out the thing. But yeah.
Oh, oops. I mean, actually have it
That's
up on my
okay.
second monitor. I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
I
think
interrupt something for
Right. Are
like
we back on? I think we're back on.
live
like
now.
the
It
Twitch
says.
stream came back for me.
Ah,
Okay, so Twitch is back.
YouTube.
YouTube.
Hopefully back. Anyway, apologies for everyone. We are having some stream issues. Hopefully it is sorted out now. I blame my cat. Blame the cat every time. Yeah, go on, bugger off. Okay, now we should be perfect. So anyway, I think we got interrupted. I was looking back to see when the
Tanks got
tanks got
trapped.
stuck. Yeah. So hold on, I'll put the Ketroc. So I think it was actually quite late because I think we're up at like 7 minutes now. They're still not there. So yeah, I think it was actually quite late. So it wasn't. That
No, it
wasn't
wouldn't have
the
been at the
reason.
beginning.
Yeah.
But it could have been like that whole mid-game battle. He might have been.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Like-
definitely.
Like as soon as he puts a siege tank between those two bunkers, then all the following siege tanks, from this
Yeah,
point
from
forward,
this
they're all
point-
blocked.
So up from about 10 minutes in. So it wasn't like the cause of him not being able to finish it early, but it certainly would have helped in the
Yeah,
later
Mhm.
games.
I mean, you never know if those tanks start taking out the cyclones. Maybe, I don't know. Although
Yeah,
the
and
cyclones are pretty dumb to begin with, so who knows?
could potentially turn the tide, that's for sure. So
Yeah,
a little thing for BenBot to improve, perhaps.
Yeah.
definitely.
Terrain stuff is always very difficult for bots to figure out. It's hard enough to play structures without trapping everything, let alone trying to plan for where your tanks siege up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, that's always a problem. Okay, next up we have two Protoss bots. Have Zozo and Sharkbot. Both kind of like, I don't know, not our oldest bots, but certainly quite experienced on the ladder. And Sharkbot's definitely been having some fun recently.
Yep. Zozo starting off as a pro brush bot and has been slowly backtracking from that. So first it was like pro brush, then it was like a semi pro brush with a follow up, and then it started doing proxy gates, and pretty soon he's going to be like a 5-base Protoss bot.
Hey, it's
Slowly adding the macro, but I love how he always sticks with his pro brush roots. He either fakes
it's
a pro
good to
brush
see.
sometimes, or yeah, you gotta get some harassing with the probes, no matter what.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sharkbot's my favorite bot. It's the bot who can do everything. There's not a single ability or unit that he doesn't use, which is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sharkbot is a very, very fun bot to watch. It's one of those bots, like it looks incredibly well rounded, but then it doesn't seem like that gets reflected too well on the ladder for how good it is. Like it's
Yeah, I
lower
don't know
than
how he
you'd
does
think.
against other bots, but he seems to cheese a lot. But whenever he plays macro, at least against my bot, he slaughters my bot in the late game. So it's like not even close. So I would love to see him try some more late game shenanigans or late game like macro play, because like his Templar usage is awesome.
Yeah.
He sets up forward shield batteries later in the game and uses Tempest there. It's like, oh, it's so good.
Yeah, there's only one weakness I really think of when it comes to Sharkbot, and that is how, like, in the late game, thinking of it specifically, is how it positions its army for defense, because sometimes, like, it tries to split between two bases for defense, and then it kind of gets caught out losing a base and then crumbles, but other than that, it's got very, very good late game.
All right, let's get into it then. Hold on. I'll see if I can set up the screen share, which is good.
Yeah, apologies about the tech issues, everyone. We appreciate your feedback and everything, and
Yeah.
hopefully it'll be smooth sailing from here on.
Okay, so spawning up in the top left, sending out a probe already. I love it. It is the red Protoss Zozo. And in the bottom right, the veteran bot, it is Sharkbot.
Okay.
So I'm trying to remember what Zozo does. This looks like it's going to be proxy gate. Obviously, it's not a probe rush, but yeah, no gas being taken. So maybe a multi-gate zealot sort of attack. We'll get spotted right away by Sharkbot. Let's see if there's any reaction to it.
This isn't
By the
your
chat.
base. I love it. Oh man, that is very, very aggressive cheese with that 3 gateway, probably a 4th gateway flower, I'm guessing? Or will it just be 3? There it is.
Like before, yeah.
There's the flower. Protecting that pylon from any worker pull, meaning that these zealots are basically guaranteed to get out for Zozo.
Yeah,
Sharkbot
this is...
does.
Yeah, pulling these probes is actually hurting Sharkbot here. There's nothing these probes can do out here. You're not going to kill a gateway or anything.
That's the strength of this rush. I think it's usually used against Zerg, but we'll see if it's going to work in a PvP bot match. Sharkbot has many probes chasing away the probes of Zozo, but Zozo seems to be done building, as it's just got that Zealot production on the way. Do we have a Chrono Boost on those Zealots? Yes, we do, so it's executing this rush as efficiently as it can. And this is one of those rushes that is just going to be super powered by the speed binding as well, because you're usually waiting on money doing this rush, kind of to build your 3rd and 4th Zealot, but Zozo's already got the cash for that. Zealots are out. Sharkbot is just building a Cyber Core, but does it have anything to defend? It doesn't look like it.
It does not. I do love Stalkers or Adepts actually defending mass Zealots, but you got to get there without dying. And
Yeah.
he's delaying a little bit, but he's delaying with probes, which is not the one way you want to delay, I don't think.
Oh no, Sharkbot maybe meeting an untimely demise here as it finally fires up an Adept, but it's down to 9 probes as it just feeds more and more into the Zealots, and even one Adept I don't think is going to kill these 5 Zealots, so
No.
Sharkbot has been effectively cheesed by Zozo.
And he blew his whole bank building a warp gate and a robo. So sticking with the build order no matter what. That's the way bots do it.
Yeah, well done. Well done, Zozo.
Oh, that was a...
It may be dirty, but it wouldn't be Zozo otherwise.
Yeah, and it was updated February 22nd, so I do wonder if the bot author kind of put that in there against Sharkbot.
Yeah. I don't know.
I think I've seen him do that before, so
Yeah.
it's not a new
Okay.
build, but they may have made some tweaks to it, or there might be maybe there's a second build we don't know about that, or another one coming.
I do love the optimism of the Robo Bay there. It was definitely, yes.
You must be
I
a
could
fan
do
of that
this.
build there, Crip. I remember your
Yes.
bot from many, many years ago.
Oh god, yeah.
Proxy 4-gate Zealot.
Yeah, that was fun. I keep meaning to put a new bot on there, but I just haven't get around to finishing it to any level yet. So there will be one coming at some point. But no, I do love Zozo's cheese. It's Protoss, so it has to cheese. You know.
Yeah.
It's almost in the code. But yeah.
I mean, you could probably argue every PvP is a cheese of some sort, you know.
Well, it's going
It's
back
usually
to,
one base stuff or
yeah,
dying to one base stuff.
it's going back to MindMe's theory from NegativeZero that the first Protoss to expand dies. Oh god, that was a fun game.
All right. Quick and painless.
Yeah.
Well, up next we have it's going to be MicroMachine and Thheo.
Oh,
Thheo
yeah.
is a name I
Yeah.
do not know, so another
I do not know Thheo either. So.
fresh bot to the scene.
Yeah, no, it's definitely Thheo. I think I saw something posted earlier from Thheo saying that he would have called himself Thheo, but apparently the BattleNet needed a 5-letter ID, so he's named Thheo. So if that's that one to but yeah, a new bot to me as well. So
He's using his
Thheo.
own name, his own StarCraft 2 name. I like it.
Yeah.
I do the same.
Yeah.
So yeah, it looks
that's
like he's
good.
a Python bot. Created August 2022. Oh, so he like left the scene and came back or
Yeah.
something.
So it's been around
Or
a
am I
while.
just that
So
out of date? Maybe I'm just that out of date. But updated very recently, so yeah, very active author it looks like.
yeah.
Whereas MicroMachine is the complete opposite. So we'll
MicroMachine
see.
might be the oldest active or sort of like bot we have on the ladder. I don't think there's anything before that. Like we had like Doctor's bot and a few other bots before MicroMachine, but he was there literally in like 2017 or 18 or something like that. When it was a really old scene. Back when we had bots like 5-minute bot, if anyone remembers that. I don't know. Maybe I'm just too old for this.
5-minute bot, yeah, I do remember that. You gotta post that video again. You put up a video that was kind of like a history of
Yes. Yeah.
StarCraft 2 bots. You have to have that link for me.
I'll go find it.
That was actually good. It showed like what bots were originally, where like if you leave the spawn location, bots couldn't finish the game because all they knew how to do was like A move towards the enemy. And then someone added micro, and then someone started using reapers, and then it slowly evolved into what we have today.
I think that's on our YouTube channel. I'll have to find it after the after the stream. But all right.
So taking a look at Thheo, like I don't know much about this bot, but I see in the ladder he's taking games off of tier, off of veteran, off of Caninana. So looks like quality bot.
Cool. All right. Good to go when you are.
Yeah. I am ready. So let's see whether Thheo can bring down the old bot MicroMachine.
Oh, he's actually brought his Zerg bot here. Okay, I was looking at his Protoss. He has 2 different bots. But
okay.
yeah. But that's the blue Zerg spawning on the right-hand side. Left-hand side is the the whatever 14-time champion or whatever it is, MicroMachine. The once upon a time the unbeatable bot of the scene.
Yeah, credit where credit is due to MicroMachine with it. Like the fact that it hasn't been updated at all since 2022, even for just like compatibility or anything, is pretty awesome. There is a proxy racks going down for MicroMachine, so maybe going to be testing Thheo a little bit early on, as MicroMachine's Reapers are still very formidable. Thheo has an early pool on the way, so going to have the opportunity to build lings to handle this or produce a queen or something.
Yeah. MicroMachine, you actually said proxy cyclone build, so I think that's the build we're going to be seeing here. And I do like this build because I'm going to guess that MicroMachine is going to build a tech lab for the cyclone because he hasn't been updated for a long time, so he doesn't know that it's reactored cyclones right now. But yeah, the barracks can build the cyclone, and then the barracks can float over and be a spotter for the cyclones, so the cyclones can maintain their locks. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, we have a bunker building. Where is that producing? Oh, it's a gas mining bunker. Okay, way to go, MicroMachine.
Yeah, anytime there's 2 gas guys just next to each other, he'll mine gas through the bunker, which basically saves him 1 SCV on each refinery. So with 4 workers, he can basically get full mining out of those 2 refineries.
Okay, good to know. It is 4. I could never tell. Like, is it 3 or 4?
Well, the thing with bots is we don't always do maximum. Based on our gas needs, maybe he'll only use 2 SCVs. But those 2 SCVs will still be better than what 2 SCVs would normally be because they're teleporting to a bunker. But he'll cap it at 4. He won't ever go higher than 4. And 4 gives him like about 98% of maximized mining.
Okay,
and
so
that
we've
one
got
goes. Go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying the bunker mining goes more to like it was a 2-man team, so that was it was Raf and Unusual. Unusual is the one who did the bunker mining code.
Okay.
They kind of played it like micro macro, like that map. So all like the offensive micro stuff was done by Raf, and all like the economy and build and structure placement stuff was done by Unusual. So I think that's the way they set up the work, yeah.
a pretty reasonable way to divide the work. Now, Thheo does have a Baneling Nest, which is something we don't see in bot matches too often. So, and many Speedlings are on the way. So maybe just a bit of a killer Baneling bus programmed by the bot author. Again, I'm not sure if this is something Thheo does regularly or if it's something that they have in mind to kill MicroMachine as those lings cross the map. 10 more lings on the way, producing as many lings as possible off of 2 hatcheries. MicroMachine has got a Hellion producing, and it's got a couple of Reapers around somewhere, but they may be getting caught by the Speedlings, and Thheo is looking to get a kill here.
Yeah. The only concern is those 3 Banelings. If they finish first and hit the wall before the other 2 Banelings come, it might give time for MicroMachine to repair. These Speedlings are going to do great against the Cyclones, that's for sure. And I do like that he's waiting for all 5 Banelings. That is enough to one-shot the supply depot.
That
and
is
this
good
could be
to see.
a match here. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, Thheo going for it as MicroMachine pulls back a Hellion, but it gets surrounded and kills. The Lings targeting the supply depot, but they've got lots more opportunity as they do actually head towards the SCVs. SCVs gonna fight, but really to no light at the end of the tunnel, except maybe this Banshee producing for MicroMachine. It's got Cloak on the way. There's the potential that, I don't know if MicroMachine lifts its buildings at all, or let alone the structures out on the map. This Banshee could save MicroMachine, but the fact that it's in the main defending and not attacking on the other side of the map means there's going to be really no end in sight to all these lings being produced, I don't think.
The interesting part there, though, was there was less SCVs than there were lings, and the SCVs almost basically won the fight because of the mineral walking they were doing. But unfortunately, the flood of lings didn't stop. If that was just that one batch of lings, it would have been an amazing hold. But then more lings came.
Yeah, MicroMachine produced a tank, but that's definitely not what you want against mass lings. All the units are going home, seemingly, to try and defend, but they're just pathing into those units. We do have something on Theo's side of the map between its main and natural. Is that a floating... I think that's got to be a floating building. Anyway,
yeah, that's the barracks. That's supposed to be spotting for the Cyclone harass. That's obviously not happening because Speedlings are pretty good against Cyclones, so we didn't get to see it, but those Cyclones died fast.
They definitely are. MicroMachine, I mean, it's got a mule mining, so if Thheo eventually stopped with the ling attacks, MicroMachine would be fine, but I get the feeling that Thheo is not going to stop producing lings ever. The CC does actually lift off and is potentially going to greener pastures. Who knows? Maybe Thheo won't be able to find that depending on the programming. And we do actually have a lair on the way, though, for Thheo, so it does have some sort of follow-up plan for this.
I was thinking the same thing. It's like, maybe it's a simplistic bot. If you just float somewhere different, it'll be okay. But the fact that he's building a lair probably means it's not that simplistic.
Yeah. Oh, dear. Did we lost Crypt again? Oh, dear. Oh, we seem to have recovered.
Okay, we're back.
Okay, that's good to see.
So, yeah.
So here's the thing. He stopped building lings because he as far as he knows, the command center's gone, I guess.
Yeah, and it's got the lair on the way. Maybe it's just producing a lair to make a spire to like hunt down buildings or something, but that does seem a bit preemptive because it's not really scouting ground. But MicroMachine lives on. It's building an SCV. There is a spire on the way for Thheo, so this may just be like a cleanup plan or something. Yeah, that SCV is repairing the command center. Banshee's coming in to harass, though, and there is no answer for this for Thheo. Oh, no.
Oh my goodness. This is going to be a close match.
Yeah,
MicroMachine literally had to mine with a mule just to get the money to build his first SCV. But look what he's doing here, right?
Yeah, and this Banshee has so much energy. There's no new queen building for Thheo, no spore crawler, so nothing to actually kill this Banshee. It's probably not going to make anything until it builds a Muta, potentially. But yeah,
it has a lot of money.
It does, but like, what if it doesn't even build an Overseer? Because it could have already built one. So we'll see if it builds an Overseer and a Muta, whether the Mutas will attack or try and defend. We'll just have to wait and see till that spire's done. MicroMachine has killed all the drones. There is literally no workers left for Thheo, so what you see is what you get. And MicroMachine is building SCVs back at home.
Free Mutas.
Okay. Free Mutas, no detection. MicroMachine, of course, has no anti-air, though, to deal with the Mutas.
Right.
As I say that, it builds an eBay.
So here's my thought. I think what he does is he just Lings Floods to win, or whatever, Baneling Bus, Ling Flood. And then against Terran, they might lift a structure, right? So he probably has some like follow-up code to like, oh, let me just make mutas to finish the game off. And that's the mode we're in here.
Yeah, the Muta's presence definitely messes with the Banshee a little bit as the Banshee ceases
not attacking.
And it will probably just die relatively soon as it's going to run out of cloaking energy, and that should, in theory, set the Mutas free. Now, Thheo does still have a lot of work to do in this game, and MicroMachine does build a turret on the other side of the map. That is absolutely massive for the Terran bot. Where did it build the turret? Did it build it in the mineral line? Just as a response to Mutas? That seems like a very anti-Muta thing. Okay, one turret building in not the best spot, but we'll see.
Yeah. You will see. He did just get his worker count up to 9. Now Thheo has to win the game with these mutas. I don't believe he has a single worker, but he does have 500 minerals, so he could make workers.
Yeah, but if it hasn't made workers yet, I get the feeling it's probably not going to. As you said, it may just be the mutas try and clean up buildings type deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, my bot didn't build a single unit for 8 minutes and snapped out of it, so you never know with these bots what they're capable of and what will trigger it.
Yeah, I'm not sure there's anything left that could trigger Thheo though, because like it's already lost all the drones. Muta's attacking buildings is going to take so long. MicroMachine's building a cyclone, which can potentially kill these.
Yeah, cyclone would be great against Mutalisks. And the mutas are also in the main base, so they're not shutting down the economy. If it draws SCVs over there to repair structures, that'll be good. But if the SCVs get to mine, then MicroMachine, I think, will make the comeback.
Yeah, -1 muta, so there's only 2 mutas left, and a Vikings building as well. I can't believe MicroMachine looks like it's going to win this game. This is just ridiculous.
Yeah, this looks like a pretty hard-coded finishing move for Thheo. This is like the only thing it knows to do at this point in the game is make mutas with its remaining money and win the game. But now there's not mining gas anymore. There's no code to like follow up and build workers again.
Yeah, which I mean, if you've got a simple bot that's maybe not as developed, like it's a very realistic approach. But just in this case against MicroMachine, it allowed MicroMachine to come back, and Thheo I think is just dead. As we are fast forwarding, and Theo's not building anything, so MicroMachine will take it.
Wow. What a crazy comeback by MicroMachine.
Yeah, it just goes to show that this bot has such good fundamentals. Of course, a great showing by Thheo. The fact that it was able to kill all of MicroMachine's economy forced the CC liftoff, but...
Okay, I think we're back on. Has the YouTube come back on? Has the YouTube come back yet?
Not yet. There it is.
Ah, that's
okay. Good. YouTube's back.
Okay, we're completely back now. Back on Twitch, back on YouTube.
Hopefully, this is good. So, Caninana is our current reigning ProBots champion. So, as has just been pointed out, so definitely one of the favourites for this tournament. ThomTest, a new bot, but actually very active author within our Discord, and definitely very excited to see what it's capable of. So if it's good with you, let's get into it.
Hey, ThomTest, Caninana.
We are live.
Okay, let's have again. All right, so spawning in the top left, we have the ProBots champion. It is Caninana, the red Zerg. And in the bottom right, we have in his first tournament, ThomTest, the blue Terran. So, Caninana has been vulnerable to cheese in the past. And I'm going to guess, having not seen ThomTest, that he might be an aggressive bot. Usually new bots get some pretty good results by being aggressive, so...
Yeah,
this isn't over, I would say. Even though he's a ProBots champion, there might be some holes that ThomTest can find.
There may just be. I mean, games can be decided as simple as something as a map as well. Like that can very well affect which bot wins. So yeah, we'll see. ThomTest does go for a fairly straightforward bio push, and as you said, it's a new bot, but it has done incredibly well. Like not sure where it is on the ladder right now, but it made it within the top 10 just off of this one sort of build and strategy. And so it's rather finely tuned and everything. But we shall see whether Thom can cause the upset or not.
Yeah, 2 racks, 1 gas. That's going to spend his money well. He does have room for the add-ons as well, led by his structure placement. So that's what. Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to be like a pretty well structured opening build, and then maybe get some pressure off of that. Orbital is on the way now. That'll help always. About 225 minerals per mule, so that's what, 4.5 Marines. Caninana, meanwhile, just kind of scouting his side of the map for proxies. Overlord making his way across the map, and we'll be seeing that reactor on the barracks. Zergling being active. He'll be arriving in the base in a moment to get some scouting. Let's see if ThomTest shuts the door on him. Actually, with 2 Marines, I don't think that Zergling will get far anyways.
Yeah, Caninana scouting out, seeing that it is a 1 base that it's up against. And Roach Warren on the way. Caninana is a bot that opens rather safely for the most part, as it tends to go for that. Well, it always opens up with a pool early on. Roach Warren on the way. ThomTest.
Burrow. The combination of Roaches and Burrow is very, very strong in the early game. So
it is so darn strong. And we'll see whether ThomTest can potentially overcome that, but it is something that may be difficult. However, ThomTest is getting +1 on its bio, so it's going to have a lot of bio, a lot of firepower early on. And yeah.
Yeah, just looking at the timings here, like it looks like +1 will finish around the same time as Burrow. Trying to think of when the ThomTest's best time to push out would be. I don't think you can wait for Stim. Spine Crawl on the way, though. Caninana is very aware that he is facing 1 base Terran, and he's taking a very late third. And he's gotten the Roach Warren early. He's gotten in a safety spine, 2 safety spines, 3 safety spines. So yeah, he's taking this very seriously.
Yeah, Caninana has got a very well-programmed response to this. Spines plus Roaches is not going to be an easy thing for ThomTest to overcome, as it is getting ready to march on out. I think that will be fairly soon, as +1 is going to complete soon. Combat Shield, not far off either. Caninana, though, like, it is responding to this perfectly. It's almost like it may have lost a game or 2 against it before.
But honestly, there was actually some more time for ThomTest. He didn't have to push out, because Caninana was responding so hard that he was still basically on just 1 base economy himself. 3 hatcheries, but I think he only had like 3 drones that were mining outside of his main base.
That is something that Caninana sometimes has what is considered a weakness. How hard it goes into the defense and stuff, so it can reach that late game stage. But in this case, I think it absolutely is the right call. We do have Roaches on the way. Burrow's done, I believe. Lings are moving out for Caninana. It doesn't want to lose those before the engagement. ThomTest has got +1, Combat Shield done, as it marches forward into the Spine Crawlers. But there's Transfuse going down. Looks like 1 spine goes down, 2nd spine goes down. ThomTest is fanning out, cutting into the Lings. However, the Roaches, they do simply burrow to stay alive. We've got Concussive Shell and +1 armor on the way now for ThomTest, so it does have further tech coming. And as far as engagements go, like, I've seen ThomTest just lose all its units right out the gate, so it's still got quite a few out. Reinforcement should be coming at some point, and it does kill the spine. ThomTest is pushing into the natural, but there's the burrowed Roaches getting out efficiency as they burrow, take damage. Yeah, Caninana.
I love that fanning out from the ThomTest. He's like quick work of the Zerglings.
It's got very good micro as far as pushing in and stuff goes.
I wonder if he started on the micro arena as a bot and then moved over here later.
Maybe it did. We could definitely check out the author's page to see if they've got any entries on that. But as you can see, burrowed roaches are very good for bot authors. Caninana's response was incredibly well done to this, and this is one of the builds from a bot that if it doesn't succeed the first time, the odds of the follow-up is not very likely. I will say, though, I really do like the follow-ups that ThomTest goes for. Like, it doesn't just keep feeding in a Marine, a Marauder, a Marine, a Marauder one by one. It actually pools up its units and goes for a second attempt. Now it's going to have +1 armor. It's still got a rather good army supply. It's only 4 off of what Caninana has with a big upgrade lead, but the problem is that it will be facing those burrowed roaches once again.
Yeah, that's the... Maybe if you get enough firepower to kill the roach as it's burrowing, but if you don't get to that firepower, it's just kind of like infinite damage from those roaches that never die.
Yeah. Now,
I love the
goes
defense with Caninana at the start there, though, because I noticed as soon as he stepped on creep, Caninana pulled his queens back behind his spine crawlers from his third base.
Yeah.
Nice little detail there.
It was a very, very fine-tuned response. Looks like ThomTest may get the natural base of Caninana, so like it is getting damage done, but here's the roaches and queens on the ramp. ThomTest is probably going to try and go up that ramp. We shall see. It kills the queens, kills the lings. The roaches remain a problem, but maybe ThomTest can get, say, this lair, and that could put it in a potential game-winning situation. I believe a roach died there before it could burrow. Evo Chamber does die as well. We do have a scan from ThomTest, cleaning up some creep, killing off some of these units. Eventually that scan will run out, but it is gobbling up a lot of these units for Caninana. Drone attempting to rebuild the Evo Chamber is just getting shut down, and like ThomTest still has a large amount of bio. It's working away on this natural base. Despite Caninana's great defense at the start, this is looking very dicey. The Zerg loses its hatchery, does not have the money to replace it. ThomTest is now going for the rest of the buildings. Is ThomTest going to win this game?
I think he's going to win by elimination. Who cares about roaches if you have no structures? Like, those are going to burn down on their own, actually.
Yeah, there's no creep either. ThomTest wins. Oh my gosh.
Wow. Incredible.
I've legitimately casted a game in which, like, it was sort of the same thing. Hard smackdown by Caninana at the start, and then it wins. But ThomTest's follow-up push got it done. Really well done.
What an amazing performance by ThomTest there. That was a crazy push. Like, you know, you get those burrowed roaches, you think you're kind of safe, but no, just run through, take the structures. What an amazing performance there.
That is why ThomTest was able to get so high on the ladder. It can take down even the best bots with that strategy. And yeah, really, really well done. Like, I honestly thought throughout that whole match, like, I thought Caninana's bot author had solved ThomTest because I've seen games in which the attack failed. But things as simple as the map can affect the outcomes of these games, and the micro of ThomTest is really well.
Yeah, it's a really good micro on them for both bots, actually. But yeah, the second attack, I think Caninana just didn't think it had enough units to engage, so it never engaged. And the problem is, if you don't engage, you don't get to take advantage of that roach healing. If you really want to attack and then get some damage done, and then burrow, then attack again, and then. But if you're just always sitting back, and then ThomTest, like, I think he was attacking the layer before Caninana finally shot in to attack. And during that time, he was also bleeding Zerglings that were getting a little too close. So
that is a bit of a weakness of Caninana sometimes. Like, sometimes it will have at least the makings of a defense, like have enough units that it could take a fight, but it does tend to just retreat too much sometimes. And it definitely fell a little bit victim of that.
In general, I find that code to be very powerful, though, for Caninana. I've seen him in, like, ZVPs where he'll, like, just back up until he has enough army, and then just overwhelm the Protoss. And he'll do that fight after fight, always deciding perfectly when to attack and when he needs to build up more army. But I guess
absolutely.
When you apply that code to the very beginning of the game, those calculations might not work correctly. And then, you know, when you're trying to factor in the roach healing, that might not even be part of the calculation. So
yeah, it does work out quite, like, the programming for Caninana works out quite well most of the time during those situations, but when it doesn't, it unfortunately does look a little a little
Yeah.
goofy in the sense that it just retreats until it dies.
Yeah,
But
as a human
yeah,
player, sometimes you look at it, it's just like, just a move, just a
Mhm.
move, and it'd be so much better than
But
what you're doing right now.
Definitely.
if only it were that simple to program
Yeah.
your bot to do that, right?
Just A move everything. It's my normal strategy when I play Starcraft 2. Yeah. All right.
Okay.
So the 6 down, 2 to go. Next
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
we
just
have
two more.
Xena versus 12 pool bot.
Xena is our random bot, the only random bot in the tournament this time. We've had a couple, and placed very highly on the ladder, a third place seed, so should be very interesting to watch.
So
Yeah.
today we've had a bunch of games that have been like, someone cheesing and someone defending. I think what we might get today is two people cheesing each other at the same time. So
Yes, it'll be fun to watch.
I
Yeah.
did see this matchup and I was definitely excited for it as yeah, Xena, just madness, 12 pool bot. All you need to know is the name.
We also have
And,
someone else popping up to watch the stream, don't we? Sorry.
I couldn't even see him through your shirt. It's just like same color.
Same color as the shirt, yeah. She generally tends
Like,
to.
are you rubbing your own chest and talking about your chest watching the stream?
Yes, I have eyes in my chest, mate. Eyes in my chest. No, okay, all right, I'm not gonna.
He's watching the stream. Rubbing your
Oh, she's scared off now. It's fine. All right, I'll set that and get us going.
Yeah. 12 full bot, I think, is another bot that hasn't been updated for a while.
All right.
He's reached his maximum, right? When your name is 12 full bot, there's only so far you can go with it. But Xena is one of those bots that has some. Xena does some things I think better than any other bot. I've watched some of his like post bot episodes where he discusses some of the complex things his bot is capable of doing. It's just pretty insane. Unfortunately, like the strategies and builds and the basics of Xena is sometimes lacking, so which is why he usually gets more success with cheesy builds than the later game macro builds. So I think we'll see cheese versus cheese. We've actually gone into the stream, but I didn't even notice. All right, spawning in the top left, we have the red Zerg Xena. The random bots who spawned as Zerg, so it's going to be ZVZ. And in the bottom right, we have the blue Zerg 12 pool bot with the pool down. Surprise, surprise. Probably on 12.
Okay, so cheese versus cheese.
Yeah, 12 pool bots pool actually finishing after Xena. Who would have thought? Does that mean Xena's like 11 pool somehow? Even though it's not even possible.
Speed mining, is that why? Or no? I don't think it
Yeah,
does.
it's probably the speed mining or just the placement of the structure. You got down low quicker.
Okay, it does. Yeah, just a little quicker. And notably, 12 pool bot does have speed on the way, or it will once it reaches the 100 gas. Xena is just foregoing that gas entirely. So it should have more lings, but oh, there we go.
Oh.
Drones pulled.
Okay.
This is going to be very wacky as the lings will meet in the middle of the map. That's
if they meet, I think
potentially
that'll be great
play.
for Xena. If they pass each other, then who knows what will happen.
Yeah, I don't know, because like it's not mining at all. So the longer that this goes on, the better it is. As 12 pool bot refuses to engage, which is good for it. Ling for ling does lose a couple of lings, but producing more lings behind this. Doesn't have a queen, I don't believe, or does it back at home to defend? I'm not sure. Anyway, it does have a queen, and it does throw up a hatchery, which is not ideal in this sort of chaotic circumstance, but at the same time, the hatchery could potentially buy it more time. Xena is not making any more lings behind this. The longer this goes on, the better it is for 12 pool bot.
Yeah, and that hatchery actually paying for itself now as it's working as a great distraction. 6 lings on the way for 12 pool bot. I mean, this is just getting worse and worse for Xena. He needs to really get in on that mineral line ASAP before he gets before he loses the unit count lead. I do like the drone micro there. I can see that they're actually mineral walking back between shots, which is allowing them to get a lot of extra damage.
It really is incredible. And now 12 pool bot, it's having its spawning pool be attacked. The queen gets surrounded and killed. 8 more lings are being produced for 12 pool bot. It's not pulling its own drones into the fight. However, it does have ling speed, which might mess with the micro of Xena a little bit. We do have drones now fighting for 12 pool bot, which is very important, grouped up with the lings as well. And it seems Xena is getting cleaned out by these speedlings. There's like 5 drones left for Xena.
But the new wave arrives. What do we got
Yeah,
here?
more lings coming on in. This is so
He was
close.
able to build all this off of one drone at home. Just when you thought you survived.
Yeah, there is no surviving against Xena, it seems, as 12th Pool Bot is running out of units. It has produced another queen. And another round of lings does finish up for 12th Pool Bot. The queen is doing what it can. Xena is hunting down the last few drones of 12th Pool Bot. 12th Pool Bot has 2 drones. No drones left. So, oh, one actually just popped out, pardon me. And the queen is trying to clean this up. But that drone, if it dies, that is it for 12th Pool Bot. But it does stay alive.
Yeah, however, I'm watching the production tab, and Xena's been building non-stop drones during this entire time. So I think Xena's already transitioned.
Oh, and then the queen, it injects and actually gets killed.
So there's one link to win it all?
Yeah, I believe so. What a ridiculous match.
I thought Truffle might have had that. He was buying so much time. Like every moment that went on, Xena had 1 drone mining. Well, 12 Pool Bot had at least 12 drones mining. So I thought he would have been able to pull up enough lings at home to survive eventually.
12 Pool Bot will eventually have enough money to make a round of lings or a drone. So we'll see what it does. The answer is another drone, which is unfortunate because that means its hatchery may get killed by this one ling.
I actually like the choice of the drone because this ling does not look like it's interested. And you probably got like 3 minutes before that hatchery goes down, so... yeah, build like 2 or 3 drones, then get his wave of zerglings out. I think.
Yeah, we'll see how many drones it's trying to get up to, though.
Yeah, unfortunately, as I look at the minimap, though, the time might be over for 12 Pool Bots.
Yeah, here come the finishers as more lings cross the map. 12 Pool Bot, it played a very close game. In the end, Xena, just like its drone micro and ling micro is so darn good. You can really just look at the outcome. I'd be curious to see the units lost tab if we can pull that up. Yeah, 12 Pool Bot lost way, way more. And here come in the lings attacking the hatchery. Now gonna go for the drones.
And that should do it.
That should be it. Well done, Xena.
You know, for 2 bots that just made a bunch of lings and the game ended, this is about as exciting as that could actually get. No, the game's not over. Xena's got to take a 3rd base first. Just in case. You never know if he has like 5 ninja bases or something.
12 Pool Bot is binding again.
Really,
we will rebuild.
Need a 4th?
Hey, I cast a game the other day in which Xena just sat back and never attacked, so there's a chance.
We do get to see his creep spread because of this, though. He uses overlords to spread creep with, so they can actually spread it faster than if it's with just the creep tumors.
Well, it's one of those things. The bot has unlimited potential with that. 12 Pool Bot has got lings out and is actually fighting, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Xena on 90 workers. Yeah, Xena really is an incredible bot. Like, it is known for cheesing, and that's what it does most of the time. But like the games where we do see it actually build like well-rounded compositions and take multiple bases, I think it does quite well for the most part. So I do like to see it macro up, although it is just waiting to get the victory here. But it's not attacking.
When you try to play a macro game, like your first attempt at that, you'll notice your bot does something stupid that costs them the game, and then the next try, your bot does something else stupid that costs them the game. And I think Xena's just got to work out like those little stupid things that cost him the game a lot, because all the mechanics are there.
Yeah.
For his late game.
I definitely agree. Lings are trying to grab a queen as they run around a fungal to catch some of the lings. There we go. Xenos is attacking the natural, so it has had enough.
I don't think any of us would have guessed 2 minutes ago that we would have seen a fungal growth in this game.
No, I did not expect to see 200 supply, that's for sure.
It's purple map, though.
Very, very purple indeed. GG.
Well done.
GG guys.
Another exciting one. This has
That
been
was
a
fun. Yeah.
good stream, I think.
Yeah, that was good. But yeah, 12 pull bot definitely came with a lot of energy to that one. But Xena, generally like a really well made bot. And yeah, 12 pull bot doesn't really have a lot of other strategies, does it? I mean, it's in the name.
No. Although I think it's another one of those bots that will transition to Muta just to finish up flying structures. So much like we saw in that MicroMachine versus Thheo game. It does have that little Muta transition at the end.
Yeah, I really want to see like 12 pull bot just become like a hard macro bot just to confuse people. I think that would be really good. All right, so our last match of the night, we've made it all the way, and we now come to our #1 seed, the many people's favourite for the tournament, favourite for pretty much any tournament at the moment. It is Eris. Yeah, what more can you say about Eris, really?
Yeah. Eris or NegativeZero are probably the best two.
Yeah, definitely.
They're always going neck to neck with each other. Terrain is another bot I'm not too familiar with, or the AI in the middle of his name. I like it.
Yeah, good pun there.
Yeah, I don't know a lot about Terrain, to be honest, or Terrain, or however he wants to pronounce it. It's from Vinta, relatively new bot, although it's been around like a little while. I think this is the first big tournament it's qualified for, so yeah, it should be a fun one. Not the easiest start to your tournament life, I have to say that.
Get the most painful match out of the way for starters.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I am not familiar with Terrain at all, really. Powered by the Sharky framework.
All right, well.
Created in September, last update in October. So
that's good.
Got put on the ladder, and that was about it. And somehow still good enough to make it to the tournament. So that's impressive.
Yeah, no, really well done. All right, let's get into it. I will share the stream. 1 sec. All right, and we are going.
Okay, spawning in the top left, our multi-time champion. It is the #1 bot on the ladder, Eris, the red Zerg. And the bottom right, we have Terrain, the blue Terran.
Okay, it's always fun to see a bot that we're not the most familiar with and see what kind of crazy strategies they may come out with. Terrain going for a gas out the gate, so we know it's not just a marine proxy bot, which is a good sign.
Yeah. Well, it is on the Sharpie framework, so it will have complexity. Well, it's pretty easy to make a complex bot, we'll say, with that framework. Hard to make a competitive bot, I would say, but if you wanted to just build like a macro bot and as quickly as possible, I think the Sharpie framework is the way to go.
Yeah, those bots, like, it is quite a good framework. All the bots I've seen based off it, so.
Yeah, the way I kind of understand it, like the Eris framework for Python is like a really good toolkit to help you build the bot yourself. And then the Sharpie framework is more like we default in a lot of the functionality for you, which you can either use or you can implement your own.
Oh,
so
okay.
There's a lot of like, you know, if you want to make an investor, we'll use our default code and that'll micro the investor. But if you don't want to use the default code, then you can put in your own sort of micro for it. I think that's the way I understood it. I could be completely off. Whereas Eris framework is more like, we'll help you calculate where to throw fungals, and then you can decide when to throw fungal and why to throw fungal.
Okay.
So if you want to hit like center mass, yeah, we got a function for that. Find the best center mass.
Yeah.
But you're still making all the decisions on like when do you like cast these spells and stuff.
Okay, so Reaper on the way for Terrain, then just a Marine behind it. Looks like a pretty standard Terran opening as it gets a command center on the low ground.
Yep, that 3 hatch opening out of Eris that we're so used to seeing. The combination of him being very good reactive reactively to cheese, as well as speed mining allows him to actually open very safely with 3 hatches.
Oh,
In fact,
yeah.
I've only ever seen
Crazy.
human players punish him for it.
Yeah, it's not something that Eris really ever gets punished. I believe it does have it programmed into it where it will cancel the 3rd hatchery if it scouts like some insane cheese. But it does get away with it like 99% of the time, it seems. And then it's just tough to keep up if you're a bot that takes even a slightly less greedy macro approach.
Yeah.
Because Eris, like, by the 5th minute and onwards, it's just got a ridiculous economy.
Yeah, Zerg's ability to make drones if they don't have to make army can actually accelerate their economy so fast, and that's one of the strengths of Zerg and one of the things that Eris really takes advantage of. I have actually seen Tier punish it before, where you'll get like a bunch of Hellions and just go in and like absolutely wreck the drone line.
I have seen that as well.
Usually I think Eris comes back to win anyways, but Tier definitely does punish the 3 hatch opener with that. Okay, so fairly standard time expansion out of terrain, starting to add on the worker count over there. Got a nice little tech himself with a starport complete, siege tank. Pretty good defense here. Trying to chase down that speedling, that will never actually work. But good luck to
how
you.
far is it going to try and chase that? As those Marines and tank path back and forth. Eris constantly leashing those units. We'll see if that comes into effect if terrain potentially goes for a move out. This is one of the...
Yeah, it is incredibly hard for my bot to chase down a Zergling with a Hellion, let alone not upgrade a Marine.
Yeah, it's one of those things, like, you can... If you, are, as a bot author, want to program things to mess with the opponent's AI, it's fairly easy to do. Well, not fairly easy to do, but it's a valid strategy you can program. Like, these Lings, they get information for Eris, but on lesser bots, it absolutely would pull units all the way across the map chasing one Ling if they don't have some sort of leashing behavior programmed.
And in theory, nothing should ever be able to catch a Zergling in the ground, and nothing should ever be able to catch a Phoenix in the air.
Nope.
Because they're just faster and everything else.
Viking out for terrain, as it will get its 2nd Overlord kill. However, Eris is already up to 57 workers, so replacing that shouldn't be too bad. We did have a scan go down for terrain at the 3rd to kill that burrowed Ling, which is cool to see if it does ever attempt to take a 3rd base. Might want to do so quickly, though, because Eris probably will try and plant another Ling, as it so often does. But for now, the Terran bot is going to move out for an attack, and this could be a very pivotal decision, or pivotal moment, as it's one of those things. It's like, if Eris survives another minute, it's going to be a maxed out or something. So it definitely
was chasing a Zergling, though, as you said. Yeah.
Oh, and there we have Eris with its Lings out on the map, able to get us around on one of the tanks. Does not commit to this round on the 2nd, possibly too much supply or not enough Lings to make that happen. Terrain is on creep right now, however, it's pulling back for some reason. I'm not sure why that is. Is it because of the Ling or the Overseer? Tough to say. Marines are stimming after that Overseer. Terrain drops a scan as well. I have liked its scan behavior. Unfortunately, that tank does get surrounded and will be a 2nd siege tank kill for Eris. Bio-stimming forward for terrain into the Lings is not ideal. The tank having a hard time targeting on those Lings. There is more bio behind this to force the Lings off the tank, but then roaches come in for Eris. Terrain drops a scan again, but it's not exactly easy to kill Eris off, and terrain has had a hard time pushing forward.
Yeah, I have seen Eris struggle against early game siege tanks, where it either commits into the tanks and loses everything, or it refuses to commit into the tanks, and that could be trouble for him. But terrain just got split and pulled in every direction, and then these tanks are just kind of caught on their own and easily surrounded by Lings. So nice work on Eris for pulling the Terran apart. And now Eris just has a gigantic army lead, about double the army size.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's fairly predictable as far as Eris games go, just because the bot is so dominant. It's like, if it doesn't get cheesed out, which rarely happens, then it's probably going to win in the macro game unless it's up against an extremely good late game bot. which there is few that can match Eris. And Terrain, trying to take a third base, is unable to do so due to another burrowed Ling at that location, despite cleaning it out once, which I'm not sure if that was just a fluke or pre-programmed behavior. Terrain, yeah, is having a very rough time here.
Yeah, those Burrowlings are annoying, I gotta say.
They are a big programming hurdle for bot authors, from what I understand. As
It's something I had to go back and work on myself.
well, the standard approach for Terran seems to be just to build a Raven these days, right? And just have the Raven on the base or something.
Yeah, I mean, I cleared out with an auto turret, but the problem is, if he's constantly doing it, you don't have enough energy to always be using auto turrets.
Yeah.
I need to evolve other units in my calculation to clear those things out. Ooh, Tank's getting surrounded once again and slaughtered.
Yeah, unfortunately, it is a bit of a slaughter. Eris maxed out 8 minutes into the game. Terrain trying to expand, but unable to. And unsurprisingly, the top bot shows us its dominance. And yeah, Terrain is unfortunately dead. Seems like a fairly well-rounded bot, Terrain, but just not quite the caliber of Eris.
But that is the advantage of that Sharpie framework. So it's not like you make a new bot and you're only making Marines. He's making medevacs and siege tanks and Ravens and Vikings. It's like pretty cool.
It's very cool to see. GG.
But the framework alone will definitely not beat Eris. That's for sure. You got to still put a lot of work in against that guy. What a murderer. All right.
Eris is just.
That was the last one of the match.
Eris is just a crazy good bot. Yeah. But well played by Terran, actually. I was quite impressed. So yeah, we have 8 sort of like bots on 1 to 0. So if you aren't familiar with how we're doing this, we're doing a Swiss tournament. So we have essentially 8 bots on 1 to 0 and 8 bots on 0-1. And
so does that mean everyone's playing different opponents next week?
yes.
I'm not sure how the Swiss format works off the top of my head.
In fact, we have bunnies in a tin, which is how we're going to decide this. If you've never seen bunnies in a tin before.
Randomize.
Yes. Hold on. I think we can show it over here. So, second, no, wrong one. I'll just get this up. So, right.
Is there a deadline for when bot authors can put in updates for their bots?
The bots are currently locked. So this is the results. The bots are currently locked until the end of the Swiss stage, and then authors can put in updates at the end of the Swiss stage. So,
okay.
Yes, so we have pretty much DominionDog beating SharpenedEdge, NegativeZero 1/1 test, and BenBotBC Ketroc, you won that one, and congratulations. Zozo 1-0 over Sharkbot, MicroMachine winning over Thheo, Caninana winning over losing to ThomTest, and Xena beating 12 Pool Bot, and our last match was Eris beating Terrain, which means that draw 1, we have 8 bunnies in the tin, and those are the numbers that we see.
Okay.
One sec. So, hold on. Let's see if we can get this up. So just to check, we have bunnies escaping. We have numbers 1, 3. Oh, I'm not sure we can see this on stream. You'll have to trust me that the 8 magic bunnies in this tin are all numbered 1 to 8, and we're going to we're going to see which ones face which ones next week. Our first matchup will be number 3. That is going to be Xena.
Xena will be playing who exactly?
Let's check this out. Xena will be playing up against number 4. That's MicroMachine.
Okay.
Very cool.
Okay.
So
Xena MicroMachine.
Yeah.
Okay. That'll be interesting.
Hold on.
So just to confirm, then the bots that lost today will play against other bots that lost today next week?
Yeah. Right,
that's good. That'll make for more competitive matches. So next week could even be better than this week.
Yeah,
and this week was pretty good.
Yeah, the matches were all great for the most part. It was
Right.
yeah, it was
There's some
a great
stomps,
great
but it wasn't
series.
like it wasn't all stomps, which is nice.
Okay, so our next one is number 7. So that's you. That's Ketroc
Hey, there we
coming
go.
out. Oh no, who are you gonna face? Up against. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's up
Is that
against
Eris?
Eris. Yep.
All right, bring it on.
Well, we could have a great late game TVZ next week, so that's
Yep.
something to look forward to.
Okay.
I don't lose 100% of the time versus Eris on ladder.
So there's
I
4
thought
bots
Squeakset
left.
wins if it's a blue moon.
Next up is number 5, and we will go up against number 6. So that is Zozo up against DominionDog.
Okay,
Oh,
that'll be a
sorry.
good match.
Yes. Yeah, that's correct.
Dominion
That's
Dog might be one of the ones who could handle cheese, I think.
Yeah,
That's kind of in his wheelhouse.
should be a fun
We'll
one.
find out.
So we've got 2 left, and up first is number 8, ThomTest. Oh god, ThomTest done so well this week. Rewarded with a matchup up against NegativeZero. A very, very tough one there for ThomTest.
I believe I've seen ThomTest beat NegativeZero, so we'll see.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's always chance.
I honestly
NegativeZero,
didn't.
yeah, he crushes Terran because a lot of Terran bots play mech.
Yeah.
ThomTest with all this bio, that could be something NegativeZero is not accustomed to.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's our
Yeah,
bracket.
ThomTest took down Caninana, so anything is possible.
Yeah.
So that's our current one. I'll just put that up. So yeah, Xena MicroMachine, Ketroc versus Eris, Zozo DominionDog, and ThomTest versus NegativeZero. Next is
All
the
right.
lower bracket, Caninana, BenBotBC, SharpenedEdge, and Sharkbot, Thheo, 12-pool bot, and OneTest. Right.
Yeah, we've
So
got some, like, considering that's the loser bots, there's some incredible bots in there.
yeah, so that's good. All right. So first out is number 1. That is Caninana. And Caninana will face off against number 6. And that will be 12-pool bot. So that's another tough another tough
Caninana
game
is just
for...
destined to be cheesed every game.
I kind of feel sorry for them, but yeah. And next up, we have number 7. That's going to be OneTest. And playing number 5, which is going to be Thheo. Oh, Thheo does so well up against MicroMachine. I like his chances up against OneTest, to be honest. So that will be a fun one.
Yeah, great matchups all around. So
Yeah.
I think that's the only bot I've ever seen do a bailing bust. All
Yeah.
in.
Mainlings don't really work too well against bots because they can evade them so often, but against buildings, they're still very effective.
Yeah, those bailings are just meant to bust a wall, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Because on the open field, Zerglings beat everything at the start of the game. So
All right.
the key is to make the open field.
Next up is BenBotBC, number 2.
it's not going to be BenBot versus Caninana. Oh no,
No,
Caninana is
can't.
against Multiple. My mistake.
And
Okay.
up against number 3, that's SharpenedEdge.
Okay.
So that is that would have been bad. BenBot up against Caninana. I would have probably had to discipline the bunnies for that one. Right, and our last matchup is number 4, Sharkbot. And the only one we have left is
Who's
Terrain.
remaining? Terrain, okay.
Yes, so that's going to be... All right, so That is our draw for the lower bracket. Yeah, some interesting matches there. I want to see Thheo against ThomTest. I'd like to see Thheo get a win there. Not biased against ThomTest, but doing so well today. So yeah.
Yeah, that was an epic game. Win or lose, he made some good entertainment.
Yeah. But one that does stand out, BenBotBC versus SharpenedEdge.
Yeah, two of the OGs.
Yeah, should be a
Yeah.
fun one.
Definitely so. We'll
All
see
right.
how BenBot does against Tempest Rushes.
Yeah. Well, bunnies are going back in their home until next week. And that's basically everything for tonight, guys. Thank you very much for being excellent casters. I apologize again for the slight technical issues, but we wouldn't be the S2AI tournament without a few technical issues, right?
Oh, of course not. And thank you so much for organizing it. And
Yeah,
yeah, it's just
that's
been
brilliant.
real fun.
And thanks everyone for
Awesome.
watching. We'll see you next week. Bye.
Okay.
See you.